It's been a pretty fantastical day so far, but we're back with a couple of fresh faces. Not only do you have the best, and I mean the single best mid-silver player within all of the planet, but we also have some guy, I don't know, Mystic. He just got like top 10. He was saying, what is going on, dude? How have you been?
What is up, Max? Nice to be here with you for the first time and casting this next game. But yeah, I'm not top 10 yet, but I'm pushing for top 10 Omega. I've been pretty serious about the climb recently, and with these new changes for solo only, I think it's to my benefit. And yeah, I'm trying my best out here. So if you see me casting, or I should say, if you don't see me casting, I might be in the tournament next time.
Well, look, I live in Australia. We're like a day ahead of you. I've just seen the future, all right? Sorry to spoil where you were headed already after you grind out some games when we're done here. But yeah, a pretty amazing run. Just like, dare I say, the amazing run that we've been seeing from Portland Sabbatical right now. The number 7 seed, they found themselves all the way in this loser semifinal. One best of one away from getting to those best of threes. And some people have been saying behind the scenes, oh, it's just the ping diff. They're taking advantage of the Western servers. I'd like to believe they've also improved their gameplay a bit as well.
Yeah, this is a bit of a mix-up here. So Portland Sabbaticals, or I should say, I'm very familiar with Sundubu Strikers, which Reznok is normally on. It's Reznok, Grimilla, and 3Z Breezy. So seeing Reznok here and performing well, it honestly goes to the point that you're making of like, these players can perform. So I would love to see more FudgyWaffles and apalme, but these are people that, while yes, they're West Coast and the games will be played on West Coast, like I was watching the earlier games and they're performing. They are doing like high level plays, good passing, good tactics, good comps, not throwing away their drafts. So I definitely enjoyed their games, and if Central Server is destined to be upon us soon, we can definitely get some even more equal level games and finally hash it out then.
Oof. Well, fingers crossed on that regards. The problem, of course, for this run, they're now going to be up against, SuRpLu5 Esports, the number 2 seed coming into this one. XenoGemini, we saw that series before right there in the, lower quarter, and sort of the run and the form they were in looking pretty good. Throw TheJoker, Puffy with them. Like, this is, I think, a different caliber of team than a lot of the others perhaps that have been like up again. No disrespect to any of the other teams, obviously some big names, but when you get to the top 2 of Trio Abusers and SuRpLu5, it does feel like they are that S-rank tier caliber team.
Yeah, SuRpLu5 Esports is honestly the way I like to describe them. They are the like ladder warriors, right? These are the people who are, you open up a leaderboard, you scroll down one page, and you'll find all 3 within the first 15 names in Omega, right? These are people who are just very good at the game, and we're finally seeing them in a tournament setting. While yes, like Barcode, Puffy, and Joker have been performing, I'm very excited to see Xeno perform as well, because this is someone in beta who did not get many opportunities to play. He was a newer player in beta, climbed, like I believe he was still Omega, but he was like lower Omega, and now in launch he popped off. That's enough for describing the players. Let's go into the draft here.
Yeah, as we can see, a lot of range right now, as well as like the Oni sisters being taken for that SuRpLu5 Esports side. Now, obviously, we don't get to see, unfortunately, Portland until we get into it, which is a little bit unfortunate. Bans come through. It's going to be Atlas and Era. A little surprised to see Era being focused still heavily on those bans, especially after, the nerfs that happened just about a week ago right now. It turns out that movement speed is still incredibly useful.
The movement speed, the slow on the primary, it's really just one of those things where if you get focused down from the Era, if she picks you as the target, you just eliminate someone from the game, and that's a really powerful tool that Era provides. And even with the nerfs, it's still just as existent. So they'd rather move against it because they're like, hey, we can play better without Era in the picture. We'll mirror match you on the Jakar right here, or actually it's Reznok on goalie Jakar. But they're going for kind of like a double brawler comp.
Yeah.
For Portland Sabbatical specifically, though, because Puffy is that Jakar midfield player. So let's see how FudgyWaffles plays as Rasmus. I'm not sure who's going to kind of go into that midfield role or not. or if they're just going to try to brute force their way in with these double brawler picks.
I kind of like the idea of brute forcing your way in. Just because it's a best of one, you are the lower seed, so why not try to get aggressive? And that seems to be the play right now. Puffy's already focused down completely out his stagger just at the start, and that's allowing FudgyWaffles so much space to get working against XenoGemini. It was a good defensive effort from the goalkeeper. And the pressure is going to be turned back right now. That range coming into play, both goals have been opened, and you can see as soon as Portland starts getting pushed back, and as soon as they're not able to really shut down the field and be that brawling cop, they can see it a lot of the pitch quite quickly.
Yeah, this map is absolutely huge, but really good, really good pickup from apalme. These round one, level 1 skirmishes are really weird because your ability cooldowns, you know, they haven't scaled yet with any awakenings. You're not level 2 yet to start popping off your ultimate. So it ends up being like a pretty low intensity first point, and it was just like one easy strike from apalme that got it in. Oh, but trading the core flips over there.
Strike. How about a second right there from apalme? He flips the puck, puts it through. Portland Sabbatical up 2-0 on this first set.
Yeah, and really big pickup. Getting XenoGemini's core flip out. That's a huge defensive tool from Estelle, who doesn't have the anti-stuff the same way these melee goalies do. But they do manage to get on the return their own goal barrier.
Yeah, it was a good save right there from Reznok as well. I always get confused with like our viewing point of view because we see it from SuRpLu5. We don't get to see realistically when Puffy goes invisible as clearly as when Reznok does, as you catch right there. So a bit unfortunate we don't get the eyes right there. The lock and load just keeping that puck pinned in the corner. In the end, Puffy wins out.
Puffy winning the JoKar ditto there for a second. His shotgun proving to be slightly better than Reznok's. Also, only a few hits away from getting his own core flip. This could be an aggressive play here. Usually on this map, I don't like to use the core flip early to break the barrier because it's so big. But now being down their own barrier, they might have to pop it early if it doesn't lead to something very quickly. You don't want to lose this round on nothing. And holding it when you're at game point, there it is, right? Like Puffy had the opportunity to use the core flip on the top part of the barrier there, but I think he got a little bit greedy with it, thinking he'd be able to kind of break the barrier without it and then use it to score. But you don't really have the luxury of doing that when you're down.
Well, Portland now up by 1, and with a free prime time available, I think the pace could get increased quite quickly. That said, if you're going that brawly comp, why not get some of that stinger as well? That's going to be the first pickup for apalme. Heavy impact goes back to Estelle, but now the prime times are going to come in, you'd imagine, from both JoKars. You'd have to think Rasmus is going to be built different again, just more of that brawling frontal force, and another prime time for the Asher. So 3 out of 6 prime times get taken. Not too surprising right there.
Yeah, there were a lot of times when Primetime gets into the draft, you tend to see it 6 out of 6 picked, but with things like Stinger on Zentaro, which is absolutely a massive pickup for him, it's going to be a bloodbath soon. You already saw Puffy get taken out. JoKar staggered right now. Any hit could finish him. And Fudgy and apalme are completely healthy. They're not at any risk of dying, and they have the pressure.
Yeah, that they do. That said, the pressure has been flipped back. JoKar can't quite get the first touch in. apalme has to rotate back. FudgyWaffles is getting beaten up by Puffy. Had to evade for a brief moment. You get the orbs back right now, but again, because of the field position, so tough for Fudgy to get anything. And I feel like if that Rasmus falls, so too does Portland Sabbatical here. JoKar, though, gets turned upon, and immediately a bunch of abilities. Goodbye, JoKar. Numbers advantage back in favor for Portland Sabbatical.
Is XenoGemini doing a great job here of, oh my god, what a save from him. Really good Rose Warp there but an unfortunate hit down, bounces back, breaks their own barrier. But what I was going to say is XenoGemini was doing a really good job of walking up and providing that extra assistance from the midfield, kind of playing as that third forward there. Oh, but Core going just a little too fast. Rose Warps on top of himself or slightly up when he should Rose Warp back to the goal line to ensure you're going to catch it. Either way, it's a hard thing to react to, so can't really blame him. But that's another point for Portland Sabbatical.
Portland Sabbatical again making this brawly comp work, although straight away again JoKar goes down, but
at least they got the trade.
Yeah, it was a quick trade, and I'm curious where Reznok was going while invisible right there. Just didn't really think he could rotate down in time, so was willing to concede the barrier. Fair enough, but again, PuffyWaffles is just getting beaten by the JoKar, and Puffy have to be careful. Lock and load could be off cooldown on any moment, especially with prime time available, so FudgyWaffles positioning going to be key as apalme tries to keep Puffy pinned down on the corner. Goodbye, Puffy! And that's another good takedown for Portland Sabbatical.
Yeah, they've been constantly getting these KOs, and although Fudgy at times is getting low, he's not being traded off recently. Oh, but there it is, Joker with a good finish, or if that was XenoGemini, I couldn't tell. They both kind of
It was
synchronized it
Xeno.
together.
I feel like that
Um,
was Xeno. It looked like Xeno got the shot across right there. Reznok, last second's going to try to push it up that top corner. Can't quite get it. apalme just trying to get any sort of, harassment back in place, but it was so good by Puffy. The side steps to keep themselves up. Unfortunately, Asher has gone down, and now apalme can get as forward as they would like. FudgyWaffles right there as well. This is what Portland's been doing so well. But the defense holds initially. Puck gets behind Reznok, has to flip the puck to keep it out, and on the counter, they get the goal.
yeah, really good, I guess, understanding of the situation from Reznok, knowing that he wouldn't have enough time to walk back, gets it back close enough to use the court flip, sends it back perfectly at that angle. And yeah, it's like Atten City map is so huge that sometimes you just get these open spots in the goal and the core slides through, especially in overtime when it's going that fast. But look at this
Puffy's
again.
gone.
Portland Sabbatical has started off every single round or every single point, I should say, with a KO on either Joker or Puffy. And a quick 3-0 ends round 2.
This is an upset in the making right now, Mystic, and it's been a pretty impressive one to watch. Kind of hinted at the start, when you're that lower seed, why not double down on the Brawly comp? Why not try to really push those advantages forward? And again, so many more tools for this Brawly side. I'm seeing bulk up, I'm seeing tempo swing. I'm a little bit sad that we're not seeing, bulk up and big fish on different draft pools. It is what it is. Orb Dancer as well, particularly on Athens City, could be strong. And interesting to see Rasmus kind of holding on to sort of see what others take before picking for themselves.
Yeah, I wonder if that is just a misclick. We're not seeing something, or he was just always going to do a big fish because I believe he has built difference already. So forgot about that. He's going for the size. Rasmus with size trainings is amazing, similar to the other brawlers like Juliet or Asher. You really want the size to scale. It just makes your hitbox so huge and also increases the area of effect of your abilities.
As we can see already, it's the same approach from Portland. Started off, just try and break down the stagger of Joker or Puffy, and then look to pressure while the opponents are weaker. Ooh, good read by Reznok, going invisible, was able to make that touch right now. Joker still has to be very cautious. apalme didn't quite get the touch. Barrier is down, though, and this is, again, when Portland likes to shorten that map. Even Reznok was pushing a little bit too far forward, had to rotate back on this instance. XenoGemini tries to go middle, actually breaks through that middle of the pitch, and now apalme is the one who's taking quite low, fighting back against the Joker as the puck gets close to Reznok. Back and forth we go. apalme somehow stays in.
Yeah, playing his life so well, and there it is. Focusing too much on apalme, trying to get the KO there. XenoGemini was a little too up. I think he tried to catch, he did try to catch the core there, but it's a straight shot to the bottom part of the goal. Just got him. XenoGemini was not in position. He actually used his Rose Warp earlier to try to KO apalme, and I think that played a big part in not being able to protect that point.
Portland Sabbatical 2 goals away from pulling off the upset, for going to a grand final from the number 7 seed, and that might not seem like much, but again, when you consider sort of like some of the rank and placement discrepancies, it is quite huge. By the way, Asher's already gone. Puffy's been staggered. It should be it right here for the second goal. It is FudgyWaffles with the scythe. Makes it 2-0.
Yeah, Portland Sabbatical is putting on so much pressure, always have the men up that they can focus on these KOs and then try to get the point. And we're not seeing any return pressure from, honestly, either one of Puffy or Joker. Typically here, I believe they have played double range. Joker has been going Estelle here, and Puffy has been playing his Drakkar. But with XenoGemini instead of Barcode, I think that changes their composition up because XenoGemini is opting for the Estelle. And now they have, rather than the 2 midfields on this map, which I personally prefer, we have this Asher plus Drakkar, which I think just can't compete right now with the damage from Portland Sabbatical.
apalme again gets rid of Puffy. Now FudgyWaffles has the cross-up. Puck gets flipped by Joker to stay alive. That could have been it. But you have no more flips right now. And again, finally apalme goes down. And that's got to be a little bit satisfying for SuRpLu5 just because of how much abuse that Zentaro has been throwing. FudgyWaffles doesn't get the stuff. Expect a touch from Reznok. Eventually went invisible to try and hide when the map flip would happen, as pressure from FudgyWaffles is too much, and that's it. It's over. Portland just beat SuRpLu5.
Yeah, and this is the lower semis, so there's no best of 3. They're just simply moving on to losers finals.
What just happened, Mystic? I was prepared for a back and forth battle, or if it was going to go one-sided one way, you would expect it to be surplus, but no. I question coming into this Portland, they've had a bit of a run. They're looking like they've exceeded expectations. They have done so and then some, I feel like, with this victory right here. A grand final appearance right now against Trio Abusers, who, again, I kind of put in that upper echelon of teams when I was looking at this. But if they play like that, if they can be that brawly and that strong, there's a good chance they can win that lower bracket final.
Yeah, they're going in
they're
here.
Not against Trio Abusers. I think I got that wrong.
No worries. They're going in here against Slops Kittens next. Yeah. This will be the first BO3 that we'll be playing. And then winner of this will verse Trio Abusers in grand finals. So there is a chance because they were put into losers through Trio Abusers. So, you know, they're hungry for the rematch here.